You've heard of the hit franchise Resident Evil. You might have even heard of the more obscure Clock Tower. But I bet you've never heard of this cult classic horror, Haunting Ground. In 2005, Capcom quietly released one of the most unsettling horror games ever made. It had a dog companion, multiple AI stalkers, and some of the creepiest vibes in gaming history. But hardly anyone played it, and even fewer finished it. Haunting Ground is the PS2 horror game that slipped through the cracks, overshadowed by bigger titles that had come out the same time like Resident Evil 4. And maybe it was a little too weird for its own good. But beneath the jank and disturbing moments, it's something really special. Let's talk about it. Internally, it was developed by a small team within Capcom Production Studio 1, the same division that had just finished Clock Tower 3. In fact, Haunting Ground began life as a kind of spiritual successor to Clock Tower. Same DNA, a defenseless protagonist, creepy mansion, constant stalkers, but the tone was darker, more mature, and way more unsettling. The developers experimented with AI-driven horror, creating pursuers that didn't just patrol. They reacted to the player. They'd chase you intelligently, search hiding spots, and even learn your patterns. If you hide in the same spot repeatedly, they'll catch on to you. For 2005, that was groundbreaking. They also introduced Huey, your canine partner. His AI was surprisingly complex. He'd sense enemies, fetch items, even defend you in fights. But his obedience depended on how you treated him. Scold him too much, and he ignored your commands later. It made the bond between Fiona and Huey feel fragile and real. Unfortunately, Capcom barely marketed the game. Released just months after Resident Evil 4, Haunting Ground slipped under the radar. Critics barely noticed it, and by the time players discovered it, it was already out of print. What remained was a cult following, and a strange little gem of a game. The story of Haunting Ground begins with confusion and captivity. Fiona Belli wakes up inside a metal cage after a car crash. She's alone, terrified, and trapped in a massive gothic castle. No explanation, no idea why she's there. Soon, she meets her only friend, Huey, a white shepherd that has been locked away in the courtyard. Together, they try to find a way out, but the castle isn't abandoned. It's home to the people who aren't exactly human anymore. As you explore, the castle's residents begin to hunt you, each one driven by obsession, jealousy, or something much darker. They don't want to kill you immediately. They want to own you, or use you. It's a story that feels less like fighting monsters and more like escaping predators. You're never sure who's human, what their motives are, or if you'll even make it out alive. What's fascinating is how personable the horror feels. It's not just monsters, it's people treating you like property. The game's villains aren't evil because they want power. They're evil because they see you as something less than human, like some sort of plaything. By the end, Haunting Ground isn't just a survival story. It's a fight for autonomy. Every chase, every scream, every desperate command to Huey ties back to one theme: control. And whether Fiona ever truly gets hers back, well, that's up to you, the player. I don't want to spoil too much here with the story. All I can say is, it got all those PS2 survival horror game mysterious vibes going on. Haunting Ground never got the spotlight it deserved. It sold modestly, got average reviews, and disappeared fast. But over time, something strange happened. People started coming back to it. Horror fans realized there was nothing else quite like it. Today, physical copies are collector gold, often selling for hundreds of dollars. It's one of the rarest Capcom games on the PS2, and that rarity just adds to its myth. You can see Haunting Ground's fingerprints everywhere. I believe a lot of games borrowed its DNA. The helpless protagonist, the stalking AI, even the gothic atmosphere. But few captured the same uneasy feeling of being both predator and prey. What makes it worth remembering isn't just that it's rare. It's that it took risks. It treated horror like an emotion, not a gimmick. It made you feel unsafe in a way few games have since. If you ever get the chance to play, it's absolutely worth experiencing. Not just for nostalgia's sake, but to see how far psychological horror could go when developers cared more about experience than profit. And when developers had to innovate and get creative all within the technological confines of the time. This is Haunting Ground, the PS2 game that slipped through the cracks, stalking you, waiting for you to find it.
It's just a dream. This can't be happening to me. It can't be. Oh.